Now this could be the very beginning of a turning point. So said Robert Shiller, the Nobel Prize winning economist who called both the dot-com and housing bubble. Now, I know we're beating this subject into the ground, and we're probably going to keep beating it into the ground until you hear it and proactively market for listings now to help ease us into a market correction rather than having the correction just dropped on our heads. So yesterday we talked about the Seattle market, and yes, it's insane. Yet if new orders for housing starts begins to outpace demand, as we saw the last time around in 2008, hot markets can reverse very quickly. So let us explain, and it doesn't get any more clear than this. Home prices from FHFA. In August 2015, 3 years ago, nationally home prices were down here. And as you know, prices kept climbing and climbing with the occasional bump in the road. Nevertheless, this graph reflects what you all know. Over the past 3 years, values have gone up to unprecedented, never before seen levels. Now, have you noticed this? Values have basically plateaued in March. Naturally, you may not have felt this, but March was the high point for values. Now look at what's happened since then. Values have actually gone down, and down more sharply than any time we've seen over the past 3 years. Now, is this trend going to continue? Well, let's look at the second graph. Since the beginning of 2014, we've essentially seen inventory drop. At the beginning of 2014, we were sitting at about 5.5 months inventory. Now that's a very healthy number for the industry. Yet by late 2017 and early 2018, we're all the way down to around 3.5 months of inventory. Again, this is nationally. So it's healthy but anemic, and it really doesn't reflect most of the high cost markets like Seattle who are desperately below that mark. Now, here's what I want you to notice. Look at what's happened since, again, around March. Yes, that same March that has seen home values actually dropping from the last graph. So inventory is growing, and fairly significantly. So what we're seeing here, guys, and this is very clear to see, is that home sales are dropping under the weight of prices. I'm going to say that again because I want you to hear this. Home values are dropping under the weight of prices. That's exactly what those graphs show. Existing home sales dropped in June for the third straight month. Purchases of new homes are at their slowest pace in 8 months. Prices for existing homes, they climbed 6.4% in May, and that's the least gain over 3 months since 2012. Pulte Homes reported that orders have declined 1% from a year earlier, and they're blaming mortgage rates. And 65% of Americans, they said it's a good time to buy a house, but that was the lowest level since 2008. And yes, when the economy was still in a recession. Now, you may not have noticed the recent shift in the market, and I'm pretty sure that your sellers have not noticed. But you need to know and need to be very transparent with your clients. You need to educate your clients more than ever, because this market is going to bring out real estate hack agents. Now, what do I mean by that? Oh, and by the way, I saw this the last time around with these hacks when the bubble burst last time. You're going to have real estate agents go on these listing appointments, and they're going to be selling the pre-March market. They're going to tell these sellers that the market's gangbusters, and they have all the evidence to prove it to them. I mean, look at the prices these homes sold for. Hack agents, they're going to pull out comps from 6 months ago and project like we're still in that market and overvalue and overprice these homes. And more often than not, they're going to get these listings because you were unwilling to do that. Now, in the post-March market that we're actually in, that home that's overpriced with that hack real estate agent, well, it's going to sit there and sit there and sit there doing nobody any good, especially that seller. So lenders, we want you to forward this to your agents, and agents, share this with your clients, because we've got 2 points here. 1, if you're going to sell and you want to sell and hit the peak of the market, as we said before, you probably missed it in most markets, but you need to sell now, and I mean right now, not next month or not next week, because you could find yourself chasing the market down to the bottom. And number 2, real estate agents, please, I implore you, let's all get off our collective asses and contact our past clients. I mean, like we've never done before. Hit those neighborhoods that you farm. And the most important part of this is you need to educate these people. I mean, seriously, educate them. Pull out articles, show them the graphs that I just shared with you, and let them know what's going on with the market, because they're sitting on the fence right now and they have no idea what's coming. Educate them and get those listings. That is, of course, if you truly have your past clients' best interests in mind. And as I've said before, you have an obligation to share this information with them. The market, my friends, has in fact changed. It's not coming, it's here. Now, of course, guys, this isn't all doom and gloom because more listings simply means more business. But we've got all the evidence we need that's telling us right now that we are in a market that is changing. It is cooling. Now, how big is the shift going to be? We don't know. But as I said a couple moments ago, if our agents get out there and get these listings earlier, maybe we can gradually move into this thing rather than just having it dropped on us. So go out there and get the listings. I mean, it's a good message. Hey, listen, if you're meeting us for the first time, make sure you subscribe. We'll bring you this every single day. And if you watch us with any regularity, forward this on to other agents, other lenders, and anybody else you know because it does us a whole bunch of good. And we'll see you tomorrow with a National Real Estate Post. Thanks a lot.